tells her, "You go this way and I'll go that, and we'll see who gets there first." See what I mean about young or dim-witted? So Little Red takes the long way, and the wolf takes the shortcut, running ahead to Granny's. Here's where the different versions come in. In some tellings, the wolf locks Granny in the closet, not behavior you're ever likely to see on a National Geographic special. In other accounts, the wolf eats the grandmother, in which case you'd expect Little Red, on her arrival, to notice subtle clues, maybe bits of shredded clothing or gnawed-on bones or blood splatters. But maybe Granny is not a careful housekeeper, and a certain amount of mess is normal for her house. And sometimes the wolf swallows Granny whole, in which case the wolf must be about as big as a whale, leaving us to wonder why Little Red, who seems prone to making personal remarks, doesn't mention this. In any case, then the wolf gets into Granny's bed, which sounds kinky to me regardless of what he's done with her previously. Along comes Little Red. I don't like to criticize anyone's family, but I'm guessing these people are not what you'd call close. Little Red doesn't realize a wolf has substituted himself for her grandmother. I only met my grandmother 3 times in my entire life, but I like to think I would have noticed if someone claiming to be my grandmother had fur, fangs, and a tail. But Little Red, instead of becoming suspicious, becomes rude. "My," she says, as far as she knows, to her grandmother. "What big arms you have." Big, she notices. Apparently hairy and clawed escape her. The wolf answers, "The better to hug you with, my dear." Aw, how sweet. You'd think that would warm Little Red's heart, but no. "My," she goes on, "what big eyes you have." "The better to see you with, my dear," the wolf answers. Are you wondering what he's waiting for? I'm wondering what he's waiting for. "My," Little Red Riding Hood says, "what great big teeth you have." What would the wolf have done if Little Red Riding Hood had commented on his whiskers or his snout, or if she had simply handed over the basket of goodies? Just how long would he have kept up the impersonation? But either the wolf's just a big joker who has been patiently waiting for the perfect cue to what he knows is a killer punchline, or he's sensitive about his dental appearance. At this point he answers, "The better to eat you with," then leaps out of bed and lunges at Little Red Riding Hood. The story doesn't specify whether the child catches on that she has been chatting all this while with a wolf, or if she simply thinks her grandmother is extremely cranky. But at least Little Red finally realizes that something is wrong, and for that we can only be grateful. What happens next depends once again on which version you're reading. Shortest, the wolf eats Little Red. The end. More often, Little Red screams, and a friendly woodcutter happens by. Well, friendly to Little Red, not to the wolf. The woodcutter either scares the wolf off or escalates from woodcutter into wolf-cutter. He cuts the wolf open, and out pops Granny. Presumably, she's all slimy with wolf's blood and digestive juices, which you'd think would emotionally traumatize any normal little girl. Then again, there's never any strong evidence Little Red is normal. On the other hand, maybe the reason there's never any mention of Little Red in therapy is because there aren't very many support groups for those who have witnessed family members rescued from the inside of carnivores. In the less messy versions, the woodcutter kills the wolf, and afterwards he lets Granny out of the closet. Of course, this leaves us with the question. If Granny were alive and well in the closet, why didn't she say anything when her granddaughter was struggling with the difference between a beast of the forest and a family member? You know, something to end Little Red's confusion. Perhaps something like, "Run, you little dipstick, before he eats you!" In the oldest written telling of the story, not to mention the most bizarre, the wolf swallows both Granny and Little Red whole, then decides to take an after-dinner nap. The woodcutter comes into Granny's cottage. We can only guess at the relationship that makes him feel at home doing this, and he sees the wolf's bulging